Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Nutrition Talks with Tyson the Trainer. And I am Tyson the Trainer. But today, we're not here to talk about just nutrition. We're here to talk about mindset. Because more and more, one thing I'm just constantly being reminded of is it is a mindset issue when it comes to adherence, when it comes to achievement, when it comes to basically anything, okay? Because you don't need more information. In fact, you've never had more information at your fingertips. You got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got TikTok. Please don't listen to fucking idiots on TikTok, man. Jesus Christ. But anyways, you got TikTok, you got Google, Google search, you got all this shit. Did I say YouTube? You got YouTube. You got all these things. You got podcasts. There's never been that much information out there for you to be able to succeed, okay? Even if you were to follow the people that I talk shit about, the people that I call out, the wrong advice they're giving, none of them are going to make you gain weight, all right? The advice that they're all giving out there, even though it's fucking stupid, it's still going to get you progress because basically all they're trying to do is get people to lose weight. There's just many methods in regards to get there, and a lot of them are just completely and utterly fucking stupid. But that doesn't mean they don't work. It just means that the way they're doing it is not healthy, Like I developed an eating disorder through being orthorexic, having orthorexia and, obsessing about healthy food. But I still lost weight because I was focused on, eating clean foods and shit like that. It royally cooked my brain in the regards to my relationship with food, but it's not like it made me fat or anything like that, And it's just because like the information there, whether it's good information or bad information, they're just trying to elicit a result, which for 95% of people is going to be losing weight for the most part, okay? So it's not a lack of information. Again, I get people messaging me all the time. Hey man, just want to say I put this into place and I got this. Hey man, just wanted to say this. I've listened to your podcast and I started doing this and I can't believe. And it's like the littlest things, right? Like I had this female message me the other day, this is just like a fucking awesome story. So she messaged me. She was talking to me ages ago and she's like, hey, I really like following you. You have really, really good advice. I'm going to give myself a deficit and go in it for 16 weeks and just see how I go. I was like, all right, sweet. Forgot about that because I was like last year. She messaged me last week and she's like, hey, just want to say, just want to give you an update with what's happened. I've hit my 16 weeks. I lost 12 kilos. I never felt restricted. I've gotten PBs. I'm running better, like faster, getting better times, hitting PBs in the gym. Never went below 2,000 calories. Every time I plateaued, I'd give myself that, 2 weeks to make sure I have plateaued. Literally just putting in what I've been recommending into place. 80-20 principle, taking it slowly, making adjustments, not being irrational, and, tracking progress over time, being consistent. And she lost fucking 12 kilos in 16 weeks. And I was like, whoa, like, that's fucking awesome. For a female to be eating 2,000 calories a day, well, sorry, she never went below 2,000, so she actually would have slowly climbed down. To get to that point, never feeling restricted, having flexibility, and losing 12 kilos, like, that's not something that I advocate that clients are going to achieve in 16 weeks. Like in 4 months, it's fucking great if they do, but like that's pretty fast. I'm not saying that's wrong, because if you are at a point where you're dieting, you don't feel hungry, you're feeling fucking great, you're hitting everything well, like you've just got consistency, then there's nothing wrong with that, At the end of the day, it's more about, adherence comes first and foremost. And her adherence would have been off the charts, like just fucking smashing it. And so I was like, holy shit, man. How fucking good is that? And I love when people message me and they just say, hey, I did this and I got results, And this is where it goes to show it's not about a lack of information, because all the information I give out for free will get you results. There's 190 something podcasts out after this episode. I'm pretty sure 190. Maybe this is number 200. You don't need more information, right? You need to work on your mindset, because even though consistency sounds simple, it's not as simple to implement. It's because we're lazy. And when we have the black and white mentality, the easiest thing to do is say, oh, fuck it. Oh, nah, I can't do this. I might as well not do anything. It's the lazy mentality. It's the easy way out. Anytime you have a black and white mentality, it basically just gets you off scot-free. Oh, I'll start again next week, whatever, And it's funny, the reason people say I'll start again next week, the reason people be like, oh, well, it's too hard, I might as well not do anything, or, any of those things, fucking not taking responsibility, is because you're comfortable. You're comfortable, man. Like, you drive to work, you most likely got aircon in your car, all right? You're sitting in a comfy chair, okay? You have food on the table every fucking day, all right? Even with mortgage rates going up, people, I know a lot of clients who are struggling with their mortgage, okay? Even with mortgage rates going up, you still own somewhere, or you rent like me. I'm not good enough to fucking buy somewhere. I'm too busy giving Messina. I should be buying shares in Messina, to be honest. You know, you got somewhere to live. You can indulge. You go drink alcohol. You might do some fucking bags or take your drugs. You're going to go and get some takeaway food. You go and do things that are, fun and, you have the money for that. Like, you have it pretty fucking good. And where you're at the moment, with how you're sitting, body composition wise, you're always like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do this. But the pain's not big enough to make you move in the right direction, which is why you're like, I'll start again Monday. Because what's the difference between you starting this Monday and next Monday? Fucking nothing, You might wake up, look in the mirror, be upset. Oh, I don't like the way I look. But then guess what happens? Everything else is comfortable. So what's the point? You're right. If you got a partner, you're sweet. If you don't have a partner and you're someone who's still getting laid, you're sweet. Like if you're taking care of your basic needs, which is your food, your shelter, sex for the most part, and you've got a job, you've got an income, you're comfortable. And this is why people won't stick to things, because it's like, if your life, you're not in that much need of a change, that if you don't change, nothing's going to happen. People who get told, hey, you're going to have diabetes if you don't fucking change. You're going to die if you don't change, right? People who get close to a heart attack because they haven't been taking care of their health. People who, get some type of, they get a cancer scare or whatever it is. It makes you change things because you're like, oh shit, that was a close call to death. Like, oh, I don't want to tiptoe that line again. I'm taking care of myself, And we all have those catalysts that are like those click moments that make you want to change something, okay? But otherwise, if you're just like, nah, I'm sweet, like, whatever, Now, some of us have that internal motivation, that internal drive to want to be able to just, do something because we want to physically challenge ourselves. Or again, there is that point where it's like, I don't like where I'm at the moment. I need to make a change, okay? So sometimes, again, it's a health scare. Sometimes you just get to a point, like I've had another client, this year, he's like, you know what? I don't want to fucking party this year. I was partying, he's only like 23, so good on him. But that was kind of like me around that age. Like, I just don't want to do that shit anymore. I like my weekends. I like going to bed earlier. And it's just like, that's an identity change, basically. That's a value change at the end of the day. My values no longer were going out on the weekend and getting royally fucking ruined, okay? Occasionally here and there, absolutely, because I value having good times with friends and family, but it's not an everyday thing. Like, I value rest and recovery and chilling out on the weekends more than waking up on a Sunday feeling like shit, okay? If you continuously do that, your actions that are speaking louder than words say you value going out and getting fucking charged on the weekend and waking up with a hangover, right? Because if you didn't value it, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it every fucking weekend. Oh man, I don't want a hangover anymore. Next weekend, from Monday, no more drinking. Thursday comes around. You want to have a drink? Like, fuck, can't even last a week without drinking. Jesus Christ, people. So this is where it comes to that comfortability thing. Again, like, I'm not here to say you should be doing this or you shouldn't be doing this. But if you really, if you say you want to do something, you have to ask yourself, is this actually important to you? Okay? Because if it's not, and if it's just I say I want to do something, but I'm not, it's like a readiness to change, okay? It's something you actually have to consider before you're going to try and commit to something. Because if you're not really ready to change, or you're not willing to commit to what is required, then you shouldn't be trying to push yourself and doing these things that aren't in alignment with your values, all right? So it's like you say, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to do this. Okay, why do you want to do that? Oh, well, I want to be healthier. Okay, but why do you really want to do it? If you say you want to, what's the actual real reason? Figure it out, because you've got to know exactly why you want to do it, okay? For me, it's like, at first, this is, and our why's change over time. So it's like, all right, I'm fucking grade 10. Why do I want to lift weights? So I can pick up chicks. That's my main drive. And that got me to the gym 5 days a week. Motivation for different things is fucking, there are different things that motivate us. Certain people are motivated by money. Certain people are motivated by family values. People are motivated by job and career and status. Status is a big one too. Everyone trying to fucking get sponsored. Everyone trying to get glow ups and, trying to get as famous as possible. That's a value of status. Sex is a value. So for me, being in grade 10, going through, my hormonal phase before I actually ruined my testosterone, that was my value of basically getting laid and going to pick up chicks. But then as you mature and as you get older, things change. Right? So it's like our values, especially we think about, I'm going to generalize here, don't fucking at me, but like what happens with females when they start to get closer to 30? Not all females, because my partner does not want a kid, but what a general statement of females do when they get in close to 30? Family values, you know? Oh, I want to start providing for, I want to start having a kid. I want to start settling down. I want to start, doing that side of things. And they don't party as much, basically, right? So we go through different value changes throughout our life. Like, in your early 20s, for the most part, you're probably trying to establish a career. You go into uni. You want to get a job that you're going to enjoy. You want to potentially climb the career ladder. You might value buying a house, which is why more people focus on trying to save money. We all have different values that we go through, okay? So when it comes to trying to get fit, healthy, whatever it is, like what's your value going to be? For me at the moment, my value of fitness is being all around fit because I love to be able to push myself mentally to get fitter. When I say fitter, it's so weird when I say fitter. When I get fitter, sounds weird when you say it too many times. It's like, okay, I know my cardio is improving, all right? I know that I'm doing more boxing and I'm also lifting weights and I'm also doing the assault bike. Like that's my just goal at the moment, all right? And like, it's not a huge goal or anything, but it's because I've got the habit of being healthy and fit and choosing different things. And, I've got that routine. It's a part of my identity that when it comes to my goals, they're not like, I need to lose this weight, or I need to get to this weight, or I need to do this, or I need to fucking compete in this. It's just like my own value for my fitness is like, I want to basically live to 90, right? 90, 95, ideally. I want to be able to wipe my own ass when I'm older, right? I want to be able to still move around. Like, I want people to look at me when I'm 80 and be like, fuck, this guy is still moving, Like, I want to be walking around, still being active, still exercising somewhat. I'm obviously not going to be pumping weights. You think about Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? That guy's getting old, But guess what? He still goes to the gym. He's still active. That's what I want to be like, okay? Just overall fit and healthy. And I know to do that, I've got to have good cardiovascular health. It's not just about being jacked for me, Otherwise, I just go do more steroids. I'll be like, yep, sweet. I'm going to go. If I want to get as big as possible, it would be my value of being big as possible. I'm not going to do mainly cardio. I'm basically going to do more weight training sessions and I'm going to take more steroids. Okay? But I'm not doing that. I'm like, health is a value to me. I want good heart health. Like for me, especially with being on testosterone and then also having my ADHD medication, my blood pressure is high. It was higher, I should say. It's very good range now, 120 on average, which I'm really happy with. And like, so I watch my blood pressure because that's a fucking silent killer, I watch my blood glucose because that's another thing that's important to me, making sure that I'm not going to have a high blood glucose just because I exercise. I still eat a lot of carbohydrates and I have a high amount of food intake, so I've got to make sure I'm managing that. And I check my blood markers, right? And then I look at my VO2 max because VO2 max is associated with bigger longevity. So I know what my metrics are that I've got. Like, this goes back to the other episode. We were talking about process, I know what my metrics are that I'm working towards. And it's like, I know the things I've got to look at. It's like, I don't look in the mirror and be like, am I fitter? Does my body composition tell me I'm fitter? No, because that has no correlation. What's my blood pressure like? What are my health markers like? What are my blood tests saying? Those things are what I use as parameters to know if I'm moving in the right direction. Is my cardio getting easier? Can I keep a lower heart rate at a higher intensity, right? Am I lifting heavier in the gym? Like with my boxing, am I punching? Is my technique better? These are the things I look at for my value at the moment, and that's what's driving me forward. Coming full circle here to your values, okay? So again, you got to ask yourself, why do you want to? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain muscle? Do you want to get fitter? Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to, like, whatever you want to do? Why do you want to do that? And they're like, oh, because I want to be healthier. Because, like, what are you going to do? When you wake up on fucking Monday morning and you're tired and you're like, oh, I've got to go to the gym. Nah, being healthy isn't important to me today. Well, like, that's a fucking shit motivator. For some people, it'll be like, health is my number one priority. I don't want to have fucking diabetes. I don't want to end up like my dad or my mum. I don't want to do this. Whoa, that's a big driver. I don't want to end up like the kid I was. Like, again, some of us have like fucking PTSD from when we were kids. I don't want to be that kid that was overweight and like, always was ashamed of my body. I lost X amount of kilos. I don't want to lose that anymore. So some people are motivated by scarcity, okay? As in like, I don't want to look like something, or I don't want to be like this person, whether it be a family member who died early or whatever it is, which is most likely death from something preventable, or also I don't want to be where I was, whatever it is. Like, that's an internal motivator, okay? And using pain as a motivator has actually been shown to be more motivating than using pleasure, okay? So, like, you're like, oh yeah, I want to get a six pack. Like, fuck, Sunday, like, you eat food, and how many people, including me, have been like, oh mate, what do they say? Something tastes better than having a six pack. Like, food tastes better than having a six pack, whatever it is, right? In that moment, you're gonna choose the food over the six pack. Some people are so driven to want to have the six pack, they're not gonna choose the food, which is, again, their internal drive of looks is their like main value. Okay, so for you, it's like, all right, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Why do you want to do this? This is an important mindset thing. You can listen to this and not do anything, and then fucking wake up Monday morning again, say I'll start again next Monday because you're too comfortable. Okay, that's fine. Like, listen to this and don't fucking do anything about it, but don't complain when you're not seeing results. Otherwise, take some time, think about your why, think about why you want to. Whatever you want to do, again, is it lose weight? Is it gain muscle? Is it start a sport because you like the community of doing a sport, and you love that people are there. You love that you're a part of a community because you're extroverted and you love talking to people and you love socializing. Like, if that's your motivation, well then guess how many times you're most likely gonna fucking show up? A lot, you know? How many times? A lot of times. Like, you're going to be more consistent and adherent, is what I should say, right? Because if you're someone who is an extrovert and you absolutely love talking to people and you love having people who are on the same level as you, in the same mindset, and that you're all getting after it, do you think you're not going to not show up, right? Like a team sport, like, perfect example again, my partner Angie playing touch. If Angie was just going to go, oh, I should play touch, she probably wouldn't do it. But guess what? Bunch of friends that she's with are all playing touch on a Tuesday night. So she's got a friendship group there. She's playing a sport that she enjoys because she probably wouldn't go fucking play volleyball or something else. She's got that another sense of community there, along with the friends. These people are close to her, so she likes that they're there, also depending on her to be there for the team. And she knows if she doesn't go, she's going to let them down, right? It was pissing down rain last week. They all still went. Because they have that the reliance on each other, but it's a community, okay? And so for you, it's like, you got to think about this. You got to think about what's going to motivate you. So have a think about it, and then really get specific in regards to what will happen if you do it. Like, what are the outcomes? Good, but what are the outcomes bad if you don't? Okay. So again, if you have a predisposition to high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, dying early from cardiovascular health, which is a preventable disease, by the way. Like, if any of that shit scares you, you should be writing that down, okay? Because for me, like, there are days where I'm still lazy. I went to Townsville on the weekend for my auntie's funeral. Guess what? I didn't be like, I'm focusing on my steps, I've got to go and do this. I'm there for my funeral, and guess what one of my top values are? Family, okay? And family was that priority value for that weekend. Not fucking steps and getting after it, because it's 2 days. I can, I still eat well. That's my value right there, still eating well. I don't have to go and do my gym and my exercise because my family value was more important to me at that stage. But when I come back, I get back into it because 2 days is nothing, okay? So when we think about this, and we think about what our values are and what that pain is, really get specific about what happens with that pain. Like, if you're actually sick and tired of not liking the way you look, what's going to happen if you keep just doing what you're doing, all right? And you ask yourself, like, do you actually want to gain more weight? You're like, no. Are you sure? Because the way you're going about it looks like you're going to do it. And you're like, no, I really don't. Well, it's like, okay. So what happens if you keep eating this way? Oh, yeah, I am. And like, then what's going to happen? Oh, I don't know. I'm just not going to feel good about myself, and I'm going to have low energy. Maybe I will get, I don't want to end up like my dad. He was super overweight, and like, he had never had time and energy for the kids, and I want to be able to run around for my kids. I love my kids. Oh, so maybe it's your kids that are motivating you. You want to be there. So when your kids are born, or maybe they are already born, when they grow up and you can run around, you want to have that energy. You want to have that movement. You want to be inspiring to your kids, You want them to also be healthy. You want to be a leader, a role model to them. Right? That's just, again, one example. Someone else may be like, well, if I don't look after myself, that's going to be an external reflection of me, and that doesn't feel good about myself because I want to show people that I do like to look after myself, or I'm sick of not being able to perform my best mentally because I know I can push myself harder. I know I can work more. I know I can get more done in my career, but I'm just so sick of feeling tired and sluggish anymore because I feel I choose the wrong food and I'm not looking after myself. And there's heaps of things you can go down, but you've kind of just got to think about it. So really let your mind sit on this as to why and start to write it all out. So it's like, what's going to be good if I start to do this? Where's it going to lead me? And think about be realistic about it. I'm going to have 6-pack and I'm going to have a fucking Ferrari. I joke about cold showers and Ferraris. I'm going to have a 6-pack and a Ferrari. Women are going to be hanging off me, or men are going to be hanging off me if you're a female. Or no judgment with whatever you're deciding you want to be. Any of that shit, right? You can have that as an option. So I was like, what's going to be realistic? Okay, well, I'm going to perform better at work because I have more energy because I've now started focusing on my health. I'm going to feel better because now I'm no longer trying to I hate gashing out walking up the stairs. And I want to actually be able to run up a flight of stairs and have energy. I want to be able to just look at myself in the mirror and not hate what I look at. Okay? I want to be able to stand, have a male, let's say, I want to be able to wear a shirt and look like I actually have muscle mass underneath. That was another goal that I had after I got super skinny and, trying to lose all weight. I'm like, I just want to look like if someone looked at me, they're like, hey, that guy actually has a fair bit of muscle in a shirt. Not to look at me and be like, oh, okay. Well, you wear a singlet, you can see some definition, but if you wear a shirt, it's just like a fucking clothesline hanging off you. So then that was an intrinsic goal for me. All right? So think about what you want to do and what it's going to look like if you go after it. Okay? Then think about your health and be real specific. Okay? Really think about what your hell's going to be, what your pain's going to be if you keep doing the shit you're going to be doing. Because we all know what hell looks like at the end of the day. I don't believe in heaven and hell, right? I'm not, what's that word called? I'm agnostic, okay? Agnostic? Yeah, I'm agnostic. But even though I don't believe technically in heaven and hell, we have all been in a place where it's fucking great in a time of life, and basically it's like heaven. Everything's moving along in the right direction. Things are ticking along. You got that job promotion, or you got the job you wanted. Then you ended up meeting someone. Then you ended up going out with friends, and your health was at its best, and you were sleep, all these things. Then there have been times where things have been just up the shit house. You're overworked, you're tired, you're fatigued, you don't have any motivation, you hate yourself for the choices you've made, and the choices you made puts you in this position where you're just fucking hating life at the moment. We've all been there, right? Usually it's after a come down of something and you're hating yourself. That's hell. Okay? You don't want to go back there. You're like, oh, I don't fucking like that, right? Again, I'm very open here. If any of you have ever had a bad trip and you know what hell's like and you're like, I want to get off the ride, and you can't get off the ride. You're like, get me off the fucking ride, right? And you might think, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. I've basically thought, I'm not getting out of this. This is my brain from now on, and I'm broken, right? We don't like that place, okay? Whether it's after something like that, or whether it's just you've done bad choices in life, and that it's let's say you've made a dumb decision, you've lost your partner, your family hates you, you lost your job, whatever it's going to be. We've all made dumb decisions that put us in a really bad spot. So think about that same type of shit when it comes to your health, okay? And you've probably, again, it might be I don't want to fucking go back to where I was. There is no chance in hell I'm going back that way, man. I've been there before. I don't like it. I don't want to go back there, okay? Or it's the hell is, I see where I'm going. If I keep going in this direction, I don't want to go there. That is not a good place for me to go, all right? And it's the more we think about that, the more you're going to get up on a Monday morning and be like, oh, fuck, man. Or you don't start again Monday. You start again the next day because you're I can't keep letting this happen, right? I know where I'm going to be going. And then have that somewhere that reminds you, all right? Again, the same thing. Your value for where you want to go and also where you want to move away from is probably going to change. For me, the same thing. It's my value, when I started seeing my blood pressure going up, I was like, things change. All right, nah, don't worry about that. I'm going for this. That was it. My health is a metric for me. I'm like, whoa, not happening. All right. And that's why, anything I do, there's no people oh, you should compete in bodybuilding. Man, fuck bodybuilding. All right. I don't care about looks at the end of the day. I like how I look, but if someone said you have to lose X amount of muscle, otherwise you're going to die in 3 years, I'd be like, sweet, I'm losing it right now. No question in my mind. okay? Because health is a big value for me, and death is fucking scary to me. Dying early is scary to me. Controllable death, right? I can get hit by a bus tomorrow. Fuck, it happens, whatever it is. But if I know, like, I'm doing everything I can to live towards 90-ish, 95, and anything I'm doing isn't moving me in the right direction, I'm like, stay the fuck away, not doing that shit, right? Another reason I don't drink. Just saying it, okay? Because drinking for me, like, as much as I talk about drugs, very, very rarely, like once every 3 months, give or take. So, like, it's all about the 80-20 principle too. You've got to enjoy life. But guess what? If I was drinking, the data's there, man. If I want to fucking ruin your liver, want to ruin your brain, want to basically ruin everything, drink every weekend, you know? Die early. It is what it is. I don't want to make you guys feel like shit, but that's just me. Like, again, some of you be like, I don't care if I live past 40, fucking sweet, whatever. I don't care if I live to 40. I want to live fast, die young. All right, well, then that's your value. You've got that. For me, I'm just like, whoa, man. Like, I got a lot of life to live, and I want it to be majority quality of life. So when we have those things where we know what a hell is, it's just going to make you fucking want to put your pace on a little bit faster, okay? And then one of those days where you are struggling, where you feel like, oh, I can't be fucked. Sometimes you're going to need a bit of a mental break, you know? But if you start to swing yourself in the other direction, you're going backwards, or you're like, again, you're just getting unmotivated, go back and look at your values, all right? And people are like, oh yeah, I write my goals on my fridge, or I write my goals on my mirror. Look, it's fine to do at the start, but guess what happens? When you then continuously put something in one place, it becomes like background, basically. And then you don't look at it anymore. So if you always have your goals in your bathroom mirror, you're going to fucking forget that they're there. They just become background information. So change it up, you know. Maybe you write it on a piece of paper, you stick it on your bathroom mirror for a week. Then you put an alarm on your phone for a week after, or 2 weeks after. Then you put it on your fridge. Then you put it in your study room. Then you put it on the roof of your bed when you lay down so you can read it. Then you put it on next to your TV, right? So you move it around every few weeks so it doesn't become background things. Because like we've all written our goals down somewhere, but it just like disappears. You know, we just forget about that shit. Because our brain is very good at, once it sees something again and again and again, it's like a habit. You do something again and again and again. It's subconscious. It's now at the forefront of the mind. And if it's not there, like if it's not something that's not always there, then it just becomes like, you know, you've got shit on your fridge. I've got shit on my fridge that I haven't, like Jimmy Brings sticker. I know a Jimmy Brings sticker is on there, which I have no idea why. Again, it's been there since we've had the fridge, because my old housemate put it on there. So we've had the fridge for 7 years, and that sticker's still there. But like, I couldn't like tell you the last time I actually looked at it, type of thing, and like examined it. So if your goals are always there, you're like, oh yeah, I know my goals are there, but you never look at them anymore. So it's like, change that up. And then having them somewhere to always look at and remind you will keep you pressing forwards. But the thing I really want you guys to take away from this is like, your values are going to be an important driver when it comes to your health. And if health is a value that you say it is, you'll start putting things in a place because you value it, all right? And your actions speak louder than words at the end of the day. That's all it is. Like, we say, I value this, or I want to do this. Okay, well, are you doing that? And that was something I had to ask myself too. Certain things where I'm like, oh, I value this. And I'm like, well, fuck, am I doing these things on a daily basis? No. So then I started doing them. I'm just like, holy shit, man. Like, I've got to do these things because they're in line with my values. Like, if I say this is important to me, but I'm not taking the action, it's either taking a step back, reflecting and being like, is this really important to me? Nah, okay, whatever, get rid of it. That was just a dumb thing I was focusing on. Or, is this important to me? Yeah, it actually is. All right, why am I not acting towards that? What can I do to actually start taking actions towards that? You don't have to change everything at once, but you do one thing like I talk about. You just build that little bit of momentum by taking one step forwards, right? And so like that's where it comes back to really knowing what your values are, right? And with your values, getting deep in this one, huh? With your values, like you kind of get to pick your values at the end of the day, or like what you act out, right? So it's like, do you want to work extra at work, or do you want to come home earlier to see your partner? Whatever your answer is, which is no right and wrong. We all have different values. We're all different scale. If you say, I want to work extra at work, well, then you either value career or income more than your partner. And like, again, don't let me tell you what your values should and shouldn't be. But like, then you know what your values are at the end of the day and where your kind of value hierarchy sits, okay? Like for me, my number one value is my health before my business and before my partner, okay? I should actually say my number one value is health and then my partner, then my business. Because I know at 6 o'clock, I turn all my business off, all right? Because she has asked me, I need you to be there for me after 6 p.m. Sweet, she's the boss. Turn it off at 6 p.m. That's it. Her attention is on her, okay? If I valued career more, I'd be like, no. And there was a point where my career was more valuable than her because we were still early on in the relationship. As we got longer and longer, and as I realized I want to be with this person, like this is a long-term thing, shift changed. Okay, that's how our values change and like how things move up and down the hierarchy. But guess what? My health is still first and foremost priority. You know why? Because if I don't have my health, I can't fucking do anything else for her or for my job or for my clients or for anything, you know? If I need to take a mental break day because I'm just like overwhelmed or whatever it is, same thing last week. I said to my clients, I'm not going to be available Friday. I'm going to see my family. My auntie's, it's my auntie's funeral. We're going to I'm going to spend the weekend with them. It is what it is. That's it. There was no doubt in my mind, oh, should I just reply to clients here? Should I just do this? Blah, blah. No, once I got to Townsville, it was all about family, you know? Because my mental health for me, taking time and looking after my family, comes first, right? That's it. It's okay. Now, some of you will be like, I want to work on my career first and foremost. Again, it doesn't matter what it is, but know where your value hierarchy lies, okay? So, you got your health, you got your career slash finance, career slash job. You got finances, if that's a value. You got your relationship, family. What other values are there? There's a few. Like, I guess you'd also see like certain values that I have, which is like honesty. Honesty is a value to me. I know we're going a little bit weird here, but like what I'm just trying to give you guys an idea is knowing where these things lie. Because then you'll start to act within certain values. And it's like, again, if you know that, you write down, what are your values, all right? And values are internal, like things you can't really measure, okay? Like I can't measure a family value versus a job value. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I can, like if I'm like, yeah, my number one value is earning money and I want to earn this amount of money. Well, that's an external value because you put a number on something, right? Like when I say my value is health, I'm not like, yes, my value is health, and in order to know that I am at pinnacle health, I have to have this metric and this metric and this metric and this metric. No, because there's always things moving, but I know like my value is health. And like within this range, I know what health is. And if I'm doing these things on a daily basis, it's in line with my intrinsic value of health, okay? So it's like, again, when you say like, that family is more important, okay? So if you're like, do I go to the gym today? Or do I go and take my kids out on a walk because I haven't seen their dad all week? Well, fuck, there's no question about it. If you've been to the gym 3 days this week already, you go and see your kids. That would be your top value, all right? Same as me. When it comes to my other things, my health came first for my job on the weekend. That is what it is. So when you know what these kind of levels are, then you make decisions based off them, which will obviously help you make just overall life decisions. And if you say your health is your top priority, but you haven't been fucking doing jack shit about it, is your health really your top priority? What are you choosing over health at the moment? All right? And if you're choosing to party every weekend, well, what's your top priority? Partying on the weekend. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be doing it. It's just it. Like, you wouldn't be doing that thing. It's like the action, like, it's the best thing about the actions speaking louder than words is that the actions just show you, And so when you look at your own behaviors, you're like, oh, shit. And that's actually a good thing. When you watch yourself, because we don't have control over ourselves. We think we do, but we really don't. Like, think about the amount of things you do just on a daily basis that you probably wish you didn't do, or you wish you did differently, or you wish you could have made a different, all those things. On a daily basis. You say you want to get up at 5 o'clock, you get up at 6:30. All right, well, you wish you got up at 5 o'clock. Why didn't you? You want to eat a healthy breakfast, you chose something else. You said you want to cut out coffee, you ended up having 3 coffees today. You said you want to go to bed on time, you don't go to bed on time. You say you want to turn Netflix off at 9 o'clock and it ends up being 10:30, You say you want to get off social media at 8 o'clock, but it's 11:30 at night. I'm talking about things like I also, I'm the same, right? Our actions always speak louder than words. But it's always good to watch ourselves and be like, Okay, I need to work on this. This is my actions. I'm not in alignment. And so it's really good to take stock and see what you're doing and see what you've got to change. Because we can always say we're going to do this, always say these things, but until we actually change our actions, that's what's going to be the biggest change. All right? So really take some time to think about your values. Really take some time to think about where health falls in that value system, hierarchy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And also, if you say you want to do something, why is it important to you for your health? What happens if you do it? Where are you going to go positively? But more importantly, what happens if you don't? And where's that hell going to be? Okay? Because you'll start showing up for yourself a lot differently when you know what your hell is and what your internal values are when it comes to your health. Cool. So, hope this was informative. I really do hope I didn't go off too many rambles. I want to keep going a little bit on the mindset stuff next week. So next week I want to talk to you about more in regards to just when life goes to shit and how we try and manage certain things. So I think it's really important on that side of things too. But yeah, mindset is a very big thing that I touch on with my clients. So as always, if you want to work not just on your nutrition and your health, but also just your overall fucking mindset, so you're actually in a good headspace, then that's what the online coaching is for. So you can send me a message on Instagram if you're interested in coaching. Otherwise, just do me a favor. Just share it and tag me, because I really want to help reach more people. And the only way I can reach more people is for you to help me out. So I give all this information away for you for free, and all I ask in return is you share it. Cool? All right, guys. Speak to you next time.